Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Running pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
Let's get one thing straight. This is going to be fun. I know we're going to disagree. Yeah, it is.
Is it?
It is going to be fun.
It wasn't a fun weekend.
It was a fun weekend except for a couple of games.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
Very
but I
true.
think you had fun in Florida.
I did.
With some friends. I had a lot of fun in Green Bay, to be honest with you. Welcome, everybody, to Woodward Sports. Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show. KG is with us. Kool-Aid is
KG.
with us. And the man himself, Braylon Edwards, as well. I really, look, I had a great time at Lambeau. I didn't like the result. I didn't like the outcome, obviously. But the people there embraced a lot of Lions fans, and it's always special to go to Lambeau Field, man. It really is. It's awesome.
So you made it back in one piece.
You made it back in one piece. That's
I
because
made it back in one piece.
that's because of the outcome, probably.
It probably. Here's the issue I have.
Okay.
You used to hear it as a player all the time. I'm sure KG said it quite a bit as a Lions fan, and Kool-Aid has welcomed people back too. When you're wearing anything that is a Lions gear, and this is kind of what I wore, it wasn't flamboyantly blue. It's hard to listen to a lot of people talk in the stands about what you should do after a play is gone, number one, especially when they've had cinnamon schnapps all game. The other thing, that's hard is keeping your mouth quiet while Packer fans in this case are constantly chirping at you. It takes all the resolve. Oh, what a beautiful day. Got two guys in front of me. What a beautiful day it is here in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Don't you guys having fun? Aren't you loving it? This is a great place to be, isn't it? As I'm on my way out. Nice 2-year run, dude. Way to go.
Wow.
Whatever. That's go ahead, live it up. You've got the win, right?
Wow. It's over now, huh?
Hard to get used to.
Yeah, it is hard to get used to. Hopefully the Lions don't have to get used to that, but it comes with the territory because the Detroit Lions fan base, you guys are doing the exact same to Green Bay fans in 22. Right. Yeah, I still remember when Kirby Joseph owned Aaron Rodgers in 22. You heard a lot of stuff from Detroit fans. So, hey, look.
That was different, Bray.
I'm just saying, if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen.
You got to swallow your
pride.
pride.
100%.
Yeah,
so,
real.
Touche. It was. I don't know how you want to go, but I'm excited all the way around, man. It was.
Look, we had a group chat and it was fun.
It was.
really was. We have mixed emotions, but also different points of view, which I think is great. I welcome that. I like people to try and prove me out of my mindset.
Yeah.
Real or unreal should be a major concern right now for Lions fans. Real or unrealistic? What do you think?
Real.
Real.
Yeah.
One game, real.
Well, it's not just necessarily about one game, but it's the start of the season. And I talked about this at length the whole offseason that the Lions were going to take some time to get this thing rocking and rolling. The first 6 games are going to be pivotal. You're getting some of your best players, Lee McNeil, in the middle. Like, he's one of the best players at his position in the league. He doesn't come back to the end of the season. Trying to figure out Johnny Moe, trying to figure out this new offensive line, which we will talk about. Graham Glasgow at center, talk about Christian Mahogany as well as Tate Rowledge. But as you're trying to figure these things out, see, the problem is the game's going now. So, you can figure these things out. You can definitely practice these. You can work on these things. You can watch the film and you can get better. But as you're trying to figure it out and get better, season's going. Like, next week you play the Chicago Bears, and we'll see what they are tonight. Then you go to Baltimore Ravens. Then you play the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, the season is rocking and rolling. So trying to figure these things out on the fly is going to be tough. Like, this is a new team. This is not the team from last year. This is not the team from 2 years ago. It's a new team, new players in new spaces, important spaces, and they're trying to figure it out, whether it's Mahogany, whether it's, Johnny Morton and Jared Goff, trying to figure out what they are. What's the identity,
You told me, you made mention of that before the season began, before the preseason began, actually. And while I was at Lambeau yesterday, that's all I could think of. If you think that the legitimacy of concern is real, How does that coincide with what you said prior to the preseason and that it's going to take time? If you knew it was going to take time going in, how can it be a real concern after one game?
Because taking time and looking like it did yesterday are two different things. Like yesterday, it looked a mess. Like it's one thing to just get beat. It's one thing to have a game go down to the wire. It's one thing to be in a fight, and though the score says one thing, it was a lot different. The way it looked, I'm a feel guy. All right, maybe it's because I'm a Pisces. I don't know what it is. I'm a feel guy. I like to feel things. A relationship, nah. Unless I feel the relationship is right, I'm not gonna put myself. If the deal is
Except
right.
with you, Brittany. Except with you, quick.
Right. I was gonna say, watch yourself, Bray.
Trying to help.
With that being said, I didn't feel like the Lions had an identity yesterday. I didn't feel like they came into that game with the same expectations that Green Bay did. I didn't feel like they trusted themselves. Like just before we even get into the game, on 3rd and 4th down for the last 3-4 years, when it's 3rd and 4th down, what are you doing as Lions fans? What's the magic? What's about to happen? How are we going to get to? And if we don't get on 3rd, that's fine because
we're going for it on 4th.
We're going to go for it on 4th, and they did convert a 4th down yesterday. But I didn't feel it on 3rd down. The intensity. The Lions have had the most intensity in the NFL in the past 2 seasons. 3 seasons, you got to go to the 49ers. But the last 2 seasons, the intensity of the Lions every game is way more than that of their opposition. Yeah. That intensity wasn't there.
Yes.
The last thing for me is if you're going to end the season how you did, like if you're going to end the season in the manner losing at home when you have one NFC, I know there are injuries, but whatever. If you're going to lose in that manner, you have all off season. You got 8 months to show that we're not that team, to show that things are going to be different, and all the doubling and tripling down you did, and all the trolling and saying, no, we're ready. We have our guys.
We're good.
We're good. We don't need this guy. We don't need that guy. We don't need to make this move. We're comfortable with what you are. If you're going to do all that over 8 months, then when I turn on the TV at 4:25 on Sunday, I should have saw something way better than that. I didn't say they had to win, but it should have been way better.
Prove
than
it.
that.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm with you 100% on that. I couldn't, no offense to Kool-Aid, I couldn't help but think of Kool-Aid because of the grit. This team has been known for the last 3 years, specifically highlighting, bolding, italics, whatever you want to put it, as grit. We got it on hats. We got it on shirts. We write it upside down for some reason on hats in case we want to do an upside-down keg stand. Where was the grit?
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing losing. It's another thing getting beaten up. They were beaten up. Green Bay was the more physical team, and that's the one thing you could say about Detroit. Answer me this. Of all the games they played last year, 15-2, even the Washington game, okay, Buffalo, Tampa, losses, right? How many times did you walk away and go, man, I mean, that team was more physical than us?
Once.
What was that?
The Washington game.
Okay. I thought it might have been Houston early on.
No, Buffalo.
Okay, yeah. Well, I didn't think Buffalo was more physical.
I think they were offensive dynamo.
Yeah, it was, and Detroit answered them a lot. The Washington game, they were more physical.
Because they went 3-and-out. Like, Washington Commanders started that game with a 3-and-out, and they kind of asserted, hey, look, we understand what your offense is, but our defense is here. So from that standpoint, if you want to call it a wash, it's a wash. To your point, not many.
Not many.
Not
You're
many
walking
at
out
all.
of that stadium, you're like, okay, you're going to have to earn it.
Yeah.
Right? When you come to our house or when we come into your house and we embrace that, you're going to have to earn it.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem to me like Detroit, you can call it passion, you can call it readiness, you can call it intensity. I didn't think Detroit was physical like they used to be. I don't know what the reason for that is, Braylon, but they were not the more physical team at the point of attack. And that's why we constantly harp on the big guys in the trenches who blow snot in the huddle, okay? All the people want the wideouts, no offense. They want the running backs. They want the quarterbacks. Give me the big nasties inside. And the big nasties were outperformed and out-physicaled against Green Bay, period.
Yeah, 100%. Outside of the running game, I believe that the defensive line for the Detroit Lions, they did a good job in the running game. They stopped Josh Jacobs early on in the game. He did end up with 69 yards, 3.5 a carry. That was at the end. There was a couple big runs towards the end. They did a good job there. Outside of that, man, you're absolutely right. There was no pass rush on the inside. They weren't allowed to get anything on the outside, inside. And then on the opposite side, the offensive line, like, this is where we've been dominant. This has been the staple for us for the past 4 years. It's been Frank Ragnow. It's been, insert left guard, right guard. But it's been a catalyst. And we've got point movement at the point of attack. The movement at the point of attack for the past 4 years has been amazing. A lot of times Jahmyr Gibbs and Dave Montgomery hadn't gotten hit until the second level. They're 5 yards down the field. They're 4 yards. They're 7 sometimes down the field. Yesterday they were getting hit 3 yards in the backfield, 4 yards in the backfield. Jahmyr Gibbs couldn't find anything.
Yards after contact, yeah.
He didn't have those yesterday.
Right.
You know, so that physicality was a real thing, and watching that. Also, they just look sloppy. When we talk about the preseason, what was the thing you asked about? What am I looking in the preseason? I said, fine. If you don't, and side note, if you don't want to play your guys in the regular season, in the preseason, make sure that first game of the season is not the Green Bay Packers who just picked up Micah Parsons. I mean, you didn't know that at the time. Make sure it's not insert a playoff team, a team that you're going to be competing with. Make sure it's the Carolina Panthers. Make sure that's who you're playing in the first game. But just
otherwise adjust. And at least,
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of the many things I wanted to ask you. How much do you really think them not playing in the preseason mattered? Because I was the guy who said, I want to see him for a couple of series when I don't know. You got 4 preseason games.
Yeah.
You don't play at all. All people told me was this. Well, they've got those scrimmages.
Yeah.
They've got Houston. They've got Miami. And what did you tell me? You said, yeah, but they're not going full bore. They're not going through contact there
no, not at
all
all.
the time against one another. They're not wrapping up and driving to the ground like you're going to have to in the game. How does that benefit them? Tell me that.
It doesn't. And the Lions have struggled in the first games of the season, first couple of weeks of the season, even when they were good. Last year, they struggled against the Rams. They get the win in overtime. It didn't look pretty. They struggled against the Bucs the following week. They lose. Then the season before that, they've struggled in the beginning. And that's when they were good, Shep.
Yeah, well, 2 years ago, they won in Kansas City, which is pretty
100%.
good. Yeah.
But they struggled last year against the Rams.
Yes.
And they were a really good ball club. They were solid at the offense. They were stout at the offensive line. They had all the things in place that had gotten them to that point. And they struggled. Yeah. And this is a team that hasn't played together. This is a team that hasn't put it on the field in terms of Graham Glasgow's now your starting center. Christian Mahogany's to your left. Penei Sewell's to your right. What are you going to do? Isaac Tesla, and are you going to add him to the equation? He's your starting 3. Well, he never wrote with the first team reps. They didn't
told
see
me
those.
you were right. You told me Khalif Raymond was going to be their 3, and you were right.
100%.
Okay? Isaac Tesla got 3 snaps. And I'm not suggesting just because he caught the lone touchdown and it was an unbelievable catch that he should have been in there. But he does give them something different than any of the other receivers. And I couldn't understand for the life of me why it took so long to get him into the ballgame. I'm not saying you should be targeting him 12 times a game. I'm just couldn't understand why it took him so long. My issue with the preparedness or the lack thereof is this team has opened up the door for its own criticism. The people in the offseason doubted you because of what? You lost 2 coordinators. Neither coordinator was good. You lost 2 key guys.
I would say Kelvin Shepard settled in a little bit.
Okay. Jordan Love had all day to throw in the first half. Guys are wide open. Okay, but whatever.
But is that on Kelvin Shepard, or is that on Brad Holmes not providing? Are we going back to that the right side that we trusted?
It's a great question. If you're not gonna complain about Kelvin Shepard, how do you complain about John Morton? What did he have? How come they didn't go out and get Brandon Scherf, like I said, as a guard? Why didn't they upgrade their center position? I don't know. I mean, I guess
complaining about Johnny Morton more so is what it looks like as compared to last year. Like, it's not necessarily the players. Sometimes it's about when to call a play. Sometimes it's when to set a play up. And yesterday, it just did not seem like Johnny Morton was able to set plays up at the right time. They still have the same plays, or they still have a lot of the same plays, but it's about being able to know when to use them.
Well, all I heard about in the preseason was Kelvin Shepard is going to be really aggressive, and those guys are going to get home. And guess what? They didn't get home. All we heard in the preseason, this is what happens. Fans hear the narrative. Aiden Hutchinson's the best player in camp. Aiden Hutchinson, they have to have a Hutch rule because he's blowing everything up. We are good because Marcus Davenport is an incredible bull rusher. Terrion Arnold is going to be one of the best guys. That's all the stuff we heard. And guess what? Nobody saw it.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that's the way it's going to be the rest of the year.
No 3 sacks?
But nobody saw it.
He didn't have 3 sacks? He didn't have 2 sacks?
He didn't have 2 sacks like I thought. No. Rashawn Gary is the best defensive end in the game.
Yeah.
Okay. But all I'm telling you is that all the narrative we heard.
You slipped that in there. You sneaky. You sneaky. He was not. He was the most active, but he wasn't the best.
Okay. But that's what all we heard in the offseason, and none of it came to fruition. And I know it's only one game. I am not concerned, and I'm not freaking out. I'm just telling you where fans are at, I believe. They heard all this hyperbole, they call it now, from Lions camp because of what they saw on Sunday.
I'm not freaking out either. It is one game. It's 16 seasons. 16 games left, 17 weeks left in the season. However, it looked that bad in game one. It looked that off the rails in game one as it relates to all the way around. Coaching, the play, the effort, like all of that was extremely bad. And you can't have that for a team that Super Bowl aspirations has been the last 3 years. So to look that bad, Shep, the next team that they play, this head coach knows this team inside and out. To a portion, he helped build some of it on the offensive side. This is a guy that knows you. Shep, what if the Lions start off 0-2?
Well, then they got to go to Baltimore, and we all watched Baltimore last night,
right?
Who was unbelievable. I mean, I still think their defense is really good. Josh Allen was just Superman last night. He and Lamar Jackson were Supermen. But then you're going to be 0-3. You're not going in. You play like you did yesterday, and then if you say they start 0-2, and again, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. They lose to the Bears. You think you're going into Baltimore and beating that team the way they play? Hell no. That's not happening.
First thing the Lions have to do this week is they got to get into the film, and they got to get on the same page. Like the offensive play calling and all that, get on the same page. How many times are you going to see excuse me. How many times are you going to see I blanked on my thought. How many times are you going to be at the goal line and having one guy unblocked? Like, how many times are you going to see offensive linemen trying to figure out which way to go because they were completely going opposite directions for parts of the game? How many times are you going to see wide receivers not in the right spaces because it happened yesterday? Mm-hmm. How many times are you going to see defensive backs out of position like it happened yesterday? And, yes, the defensive line has to get that pressure. You get that pressure, it makes it easier for the secondary. But a lot of that stuff was happening at the line of scrimmage. That was happening at the line of scrimmage. They have to get back to playing sound, disciplined football. You can't have the sins, the self-inflicted negatives. Mm-hmm. They had a ton of those yesterday. You got to clean that up before you can help yourself by doing those things.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of different aspects of what took place yesterday. From the chat, Lions fan 222, guys, relax. It's going to be okay. They just have to get their rhythm down. They will be fine. They won't be as good as last year, but they won't be the worst team in football either. We never said they'd be the worst team in football. Both Braylon and I predicted 12 wins. We both predicted – well, I predicted them to win to the division. Oops. You at least predicted them to go to the playoffs. So I don't think either one of us are freaking out. We are relaxed. The issue is whether or not this team can overcome its glaring omissions and problems.
Look, can we do this? Can we do this, please? I'm trying to be very calm today because I really want to be excited and be jacked up like I was in the pregame. But you know what? We're going to be relaxed. Let's have an honest conversation today.
Yeah.
That's all we want to do on this show. We want to have an honest conversation. You know what that takes? That takes you to say, you know what, they didn't play well yesterday. Some of this critique that they're giving, they deserve that critique. In fact, the last 2 times I've seen Lions play, they haven't looked good. In fact, they lost both of those games. And how sloppy they played yesterday to a team that's in their division that I was told that they owned, well, they lost, and they got owned, and they didn't look good. And they played another division opponent coming up. So we're just sitting here having a real conversation about it. It didn't look good. You guys got to stop getting pissed when people talk about your team if you don't like it. If you don't like it, then maybe Johnny Morton and the offensive line should have played better yesterday and coached better yesterday.
Yeah.
Maybe the team should have had more energy and more effort. I was expecting to see the team that goes to Lambeau in the last 2 years, and they are jacked out of their mind. Do you remember when they went to Green Bay and knew they were not playing in that playoff game? They knew they weren't going to play in the playoff game, and they still went out there, made noise, won that game. That's the energy I was expecting to see, and I didn't get it. That's all we're sitting here saying.
Yeah, I saw them come out of the tunnel, and I made it a point to watch specifically a few players.
Okay.
All right, it's easy to watch the football. I get that. Maybe I missed some things because I didn't watch the football, but I watched Marcus Davenport. I watched Tyleik Williams. I watched Aiden Hutchinson.
What does he look like, Marcus Davenport?
He's a big man.
Because I didn't see him yesterday.
Yeah, he's a big man. Three tackles, but a big man that was kind of missing. Aiden Hutchinson was missing too. And I watched Terrion Arnold on defense. On offense, I tried to focus as much as I could on Mahogany and of course Ratledge. And then I was really, really hoping to see a little bit more of Tesla, but I did not. That's the way it works. It's more than disappointing. It's super frustrating to be in a group of Lions fans who are constantly questioning things without necessarily watching what they should be watching. But my problem with the Lions yesterday is, and we can talk about play calling all we want, because that's all people were arguing about in the stands, about play calling, and my whole point to them was, look, what is it you want? Because a lot of times we got to look. You want to. I literally had two guys say, we got to throw the ball downfield, and I said, I'd love for them to throw the ball downfield. I'd love for him to have some time, but I love some guys to be wide open too. I'll take first down on a 6-yard run on first down and make it 2nd down and 4, than I would just throwing it downfield and having an incomplete pass.
And also, too, it goes to, and you're right, let me pull back a little bit in terms of the play calling. Also, everybody has to do their job. We're going to do a little bit of Braylon's breakdown a little bit later. Excited to do it. We'll have some still slides, pre-snap, post-snap, and what I saw. Coaches weren't the only ones making mistakes. Jared Goff's your quarterback. Jared Goff was your quarterback that was in the MVP candidacy last year for much of the end of the season. Well, guess what? He missed a bunch of reads. Like reads that were designed by Johnny Morton, to your point, that were open. And guess what? He went other places. He stared down receivers, and so that's on him. So everybody had a part in yesterday's game. Yeah, yesterday's loss.
This is as good a text, a tweet, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, in a comment in the chat, and it's from Aaron to the Stone. Bray and Shep. It's very simple. It's not that we lost. Right. It's how we lost. That Lions team was not competitive at all. In fact, it was embarrassing. That's why I'm so frustrated today. That's beautifully put, because I think he speaks. That is truth among most Lions fans, I would argue.
100%, because the Lions over the past 3 years, at least when they've lost, which hasn't been very, very, very few, very, very few and few in between, but when they've lost, you didn't have this sense of, man, this team really got manhandled. Like, what's my team look like? Are we going to be okay? You didn't get that sense. It's, oh, okay, it's the Buffalo game. We got outplayed. Or it's the Bucs game. You know what? Baker Mayfield, and they almost won last year in the playoff. They know those guys. Like, it's legitimate. They lost, but they were still in it. They still played well. Yesterday felt like 2021. Yesterday felt like 2020. Mm-hmm. Like, just the feel of it. And I think that, for me, was the thing that I'm looking at. Like, man, that feel was not there. How do you get that feel back in week 2? How do you get that feel back this week in practice?
I got to tell you, man, in walking around Lambeau and the neighborhoods that make up Lambeau and going to some various tailgate parties, and people were great to us, by the way. They really were. They love Detroit fans, they said, because Detroit fans are cool. Most of those people I was talking to, I only went to a couple of parties, but most, not all, but most were saying, I think you guys are going to win. They were believing the Lions were the better team. Right. I walked into Lambeau feeling like Detroit's the better team. Not because they swept them a year ago. They've won 6 out of their last 7. I just look at the rosters and I think Detroit's better. And they weren't. Simply put, Green Bay was the better team. And sometimes that's hard for people to admit.
Green Bay was definitely a better team yesterday. They were better at all positions, and sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like that, but they were better. They were humping with grease. Matt LaFleur's early on put Jordan Love in some great positions. And when you don't have, it's the same thing for Jared Goff over the past 3 years. When you got a line that's protecting and you can sit back there and you can take your time, you can really do what you want. Mm-hmm. And that's what Jordan Love did in that first half, especially in the first quarter. He was able to do what he wanted because there was no pass rush. And he's got a slew of wide receivers and a nice tight end in Tucker Kraft. So, they made the most of the situations.
The chat is really active. Some really good ones, too. Like Boyd Boyd Hano. Rams fans warned us about Goff with a new coordinator. He'll go to the dump-off of the guy most comfortable because he's not comfortable with the new place. Did you get that same sense?
10 receptions for Jahmyr Gibbs, 35 yards. It's the most receptions in NFL history with the fewest yards.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you saw. Part of that is the comfortability thing. I think it's a real thing. Trying to get comfortable and figure out what this offense is. Also trying to figure out what this offensive line is at the same time, which is tough because if I'm dropping back and I know I got guys coming from this side, and I'm also worried about, number one, coming off this side. And, oh, by the way, did Michael Parsons have a game yesterday in his 33%? Shep. But that's a lot for a quarterback to worry about. I don't care how good that quarterback is. And when that quarterback doesn't have a mobility set like a Baker Mayfield, Bakers can get out of the pocket. You know, and when you don't have at least something like that, you're going to be in trouble. Realistically, you're going to be in trouble.
Somebody else, Nick 83, Brad cheap-ass Holmes. Let Zeitler walk for $9 million, relying on 2 rookies, and Graham in the middle isn't going to work. Obviously, Mahogany's not a rookie. Had 73 snaps all of last year, but he might as well be. Is that being cheap? I don't know if that's being cheap. I think, again, he is planning for future contracts, which doesn't sit well with Lions fans. I understand why. But I think it's, the Jamison Williams contract. It's going to be the Aiden Hutchinson contract. It's going to be the Brian Branch contract. It's going to be the Jahmyr Gibbs contract. I'm not sure if Laporta would go on. But that's kind of how I think it's going to go. Look, let's get to the elephant in the room, all right? Does Zadarius Smith make a difference yesterday? No. Not with the way Green Bay's offensive line was playing, okay? And I'm not saying I wouldn't take him, and I'm not saying they shouldn't have signed him. But let's not try to kid ourselves into thinking that one guy makes that big of a difference, okay? Because he wasn't that effective for Detroit the year before, and I don't know how much he might be really effective for Philly this year because of the depth that they have. But what do you think about that?
This is what I think. I'll say this. I'm not one of these guys up here trying to say Zadarius Smith was the answer, because I agree with you. He's not the answer. He's not some wrecking ball that's giving you 12 sacks, 11 sacks. You put on the opposite side, and hey, if we got Big Z, we're going to be all right on defense. That's not what he has been for the past 2 seasons. But what he is another body. What he is another player that you have seen make some plays for your team at a position that is a position of need. One of my biggest things about you want to bring the Brad Holmes up, I won't say he's cheap, but I would say he better stop paying attention to the future, and he better start looking at the present. Like, stop looking down the line. Down the line was cool in 21 and 22 and 23 even. This is 25. And you legitimately went into the season knowing that you didn't know if Graham Glasgow or Tate Ralledge was going to be your center. And now it looks like they want Tate Ralledge to maybe get some reps in at that. And Christian Mahogany. Oh, and you went into the season doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on Marcus Davenport, who we told you his best season was his first year in the NFL when he had 8 sacks in 9 games. And then the next year when he plays 15 games, he had 1.5 sacks.
He had half a sack.
He had a half a sack.
Yeah.
And he's been injured each of the last 4 seasons of his career. And you knew that going into the start of opening day yesterday. Yep. You knew what the offensive line was. You knew what that defensive end position was. And you told the city of Detroit, you told everybody around very casually and jokingly, he was like, we're good.
Right. Oh.
We got the guys we want. All while trolling some of the analysts. Like, oh, I don't know why they're so keen on the rush in position. Because we didn't have a rush yesterday.
Yeah.
Because Jordan Love had all the freaking time in the world.
You didn't have a rush last year outside of Aiden Hutchinson. The thing about that, too, is that's why perhaps maybe somebody in the chat says cheap.
Yeah.
Because what was it, 2.5 for Davenport? 2.5
maybe he's
for
right.
And it took $9 million to get Zadarius Smith?
In incentives. Like, so, no, he's not the record, but he's another body. He's another body when Marcus Davenport is not working out. Let's try something else. Let's get a fresh body in there. Let's rotate some things around. He's like something. You went into the season with that. Like, no, the season's not over. No one up there is saying this. This is going to be something to overcome. I think 100%. They didn't have to win this game to win the Super Bowl, but the way they lost this game to a division opponent is cause for concern, because you went into the season with this and everything, all the what ifs, yesterday it looked like all the what ifs were right. That's the thing that sucked about that loss.
And you know what, man? I'm looking at B. Martin in the chat here. Did you guys see the $20 super chat? $20. So you already know he's a little hot. And he sounds like you, Bray. I don't know if this is your burner or not. I was trying to look to see. Is he on his phone? Why are you saying this? But it says everything Brad and Dan tried to sell us in the offseason came to make them look foolish. They didn't play starters in the preseason despite having a new OC and a DC. And Dan said, quote, unquote, we're good at DE, and no one breathed on Love.
Yeah, we've said that. Yeah. I think that's one of the things that people are going to – this team is going to be held to this right now, okay? We've talked about this before about general managers are tied to certain things in their careers, It's great to have championships. It's great to have division titles. It's great to have good contracts and draft well. But they're tied to certain things. I'm not going to go over the Joe Dumars example and the Alavila example and the Dave Dombrowski example and so on and so forth. But as good as I believe Brad Holmes is, this offseason, and I said this before the year began, this offseason is one of those things that he might be judged on, eventually might be judged on. I'm not saying he's treading on thin ice here, but he might be judged on because there are areas, just like Dave Dombrowski didn't address the bullpen, everybody said, there are areas that Lions fans felt he needed to address. And he didn't address the defensive end, and he didn't address the loss of two key guys in the middle, okay? Zeitler wanted to be closer to his family. That's great. Zadarius Smith, if you'd have kept him, would have cost you $11 million, I believe. Yeah. So that would have been an issue too. But you still did not address what people felt were the needs.
Sometimes you think that it's going to be forever. You think the path is chill. Oh, we're doing it the right way, and we've drafted well, and we have these staple pieces, so we're gonna be able to make some things happen as long as we take care of our guys. But sometimes you have to focus on the here and now. And getting back to that message about the here and now, you are a Super Bowl team. Last year, the year before, going into the offseason of last year, you're a Super Bowl team. Make moves that help you now, as opposed to talking about, oh, okay, we're going to get this guy, and we'll coach him up, and we'll get him good, and it'll take some time to get in the season. Sometimes you got to get some guys that's already ready. Sometimes you got to get some guys that, hey, look, this guy's ready, we're ready.
Yeah, here's the other frustrating part, and I think this is where Kool-Aid's coming from, and he could chime in if he thinks I'm off base. Why is it okay if Philly does it? Philly's already got a ring, right? They've been there, done that. You would think, not that they'd be satisfied. You're always hungry, especially after you start to win the way they do. But they find a way to make things happen. Brad Holmes' defenders could say, look, he's found a way to extend certain guys who are really key. But you know that it's a need. All you got to do is look at your own depth chart. It's a need. What are you waiting for to address the need?
I hope it's not hurting people's feelings. Like, I pray to God that it's not. I don't want to bring a guy in to hurt this guy's feelings, or he's not really a Brad guy or a Dan Campbell guy, or we didn't draft him, so now I got to bring. Look, Eagles don't care. Like, at the end of the day,
they don't.
Hey, look, you know what, Zadarius, why don't you come on there? Hey, you know what, it's week 16. Hey, Ndamukong Suh, you still got some juice in the tank. Come on, why don't you come in 2023 and bring, you know what, why don't we
trade for Saquon Barkley?
Yeah, let's get Saquon Barkley. Yeah. They, even when they have guys at that position, they don't mind. You know what, let's just keep adding bodies because it gives us a better chance. They played in that Dallas game. Dak Prescott had some success earlier. They saw they weren't getting pressure off the right side. And what did they do after that game that they won, mind you? They said, you know what? I almost said something else. Let's get him. We'll throw in incentives to figure it out. He's another body. If we use him, we use him. If we don't, we don't. As opposed to us, I think a lot of times it's saving the locker room.
Yeah.
It's making sure
got to fit in with the culture.
It's making sure you don't upset the balance that has come to be Allen Park and what we're building. Well, the balance in Allen Park ain't winning in the big games. Like, so real talk, if that's the thought process, which I don't know, you got to change that.
Yeah, I hope it's not that. I doubt it is, quite honestly, because you know, and you've educated us on this. There is a culture that you do have to adhere to.
Yeah.
But what I've learned from you is this. If your culture's that strong, anybody coming in and trying to upset that apple cart, upset that culture, should conform more so than being on an island and get others to conform to him. Look, Teddy Bruschi said this on ESPN before the game began between Detroit and Green Bay. He said Micah Parsons, if he brings that Dallas type of culture to Green Bay, it could ruin your team.
Yeah.
Since there was all kinds of issues with him. Now, it's only one game, and it's only 4 practices, and it's 1 week, so I don't know, and things are going great. But they're willing to take that chance. They feel like their culture's strong enough to combat any what could be negatives. Why wouldn't Detroit's culture be good enough for that?
That's a really good question, because what Green Bay saw is, look, we are not Dallas. We don't have an owner that's running around wanting to be the show, wanting to do all the things and put his hands in everywhere, not necessarily knowing what he's doing sometimes. Like, it's a bleep show down there, and it always has been. Even when they were winning Super Bowls, now they're not winning. It's even worse. Green Bay's like, that's not us. We got a chill culture, man. It's in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin. You know, you relax. Like, all there is to do is play football and podcast and be with your teammates. And you saw what he did after the game. Like, he looked like a kid in a candy store. But that culture is a real thing. And you know why? There was a player that was available this offseason. And I made mention of him back in, around March, April. I said, I don't necessarily like this guy, But I feel like there's something that there's something that Dan Campbell in his Lions locker room could do with a Joey Bosa. Like, I know he's not the team guy. Like, Joey looks like he only loves his brother, and that's it. Like, Joey Bosa didn't look like he ever dialed into what the Chargers were doing. Outside of Khalil Mack, that was his sack brother. Yesterday, for the Buffalo Bills, I saw him jumping around. I saw him showing love to teammates. I saw him in piles at the end of the game when the kicker made the field goal. Like, he's the first one jumping up on the kicker.
That was Matt Prater, by the way.
Shout out to
Former Lion.
Big Matt. That ain't Joey Bosa. Username for a fact.
Yeah. In the past.
That's not Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
Joey Bosa would have never been that guy. He's a selfish guy from Ohio State that didn't even want to play the rest of the season when he had a bad ankle. But what did he do when he got to Sean McDermott, a winning culture, great leader, and Josh Allen, who you talk about, who I give you credit for? Now all of a sudden he looks like a new man. That's the culture.
It makes
and
a
that's
difference,
winning.
doesn't it?
100%. And that's what I know the Lions can do here. They're not any different than what Buffalo was doing with Joey Bosa. The Lions can do that same thing here, just like they did with Big Z. You can take a chance because, trust me, you got the culture in place, just like they did in Buffalo. I was like, damn, I didn't know Joey Bosa had that much in the tank.
Folks, how about this? There are reports, and I believe them, that Green Bay, if they weren't getting Parsons, they were in on Trey Hendrickson. They wanted to upgrade from that. Now. Right. So I don't know if it automatically makes them a Super Bowl favorite, okay? I still think Detroit's going to be fine. I still think Detroit's going to win the division. But what happened yesterday is something we didn't even experience last year. Here's what we didn't experience. Didn't lose a road game.
Check.
Didn't lose a division game.
Check.
And never was beat up in any of the games that they played.
All that happened in game one.
And it all happened in game one. We welcome more of your chats. It's really good stuff. You're giving us really good feedback. We always appreciate it here on the Braylon Edwards Show. More Lions discussion on the other side. It's flying by already. It's 36 after the hour and more from Vengeance.
Lions season, huh?
Yeah, tell me about it. Look, man, when crisis hits, don't panic. Let Vin fight for you. Vin Johnson Law, that's the place you want to go. If you have a case, make sure you bring it to Vin Johnson Law because they know how to get the outcome that you want. Whether it's a settlement or a verdict, they are tried and true in the space of law, man. They're trial attorneys. Let that sink in. Tough, tenacious trial attorneys. Verify, engage, notify. That's what Vin's Step 1, verify. Step 2, engage. Step 3, notify. And who you notify? That's the big dog, Vin Johnson Law, VinFights.com.
Looking to upgrade your relaxation game? Check out Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. The largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest. I get a massage every single day. They're wonderful. They're located near the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road. Experience luxury comfort with Dr. Eric Duncan, the wellness doc. Got a chance to meet him before. He's a wonderful person. Creator of the top massage chair review channel on YouTube. Book a visit at www.massagechairhouse.com or scan that QR code. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or Bust Lions network. Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Belizean. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions.
Fitness is for everyone. Check it out, man. I keep rotating my routine at Planet Fitness. You know, sometimes I'm going heavy with the weights, and sometimes it's all about the cardio. But you know, the good thing about that, it's up to me. I get to work out the way I want to work out at Planet Fitness, man, because there's no judgment. Nobody's bothering me. I do it on my own time, to my own tempo, and you can do it too. With over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations, it's the gym for you. And the gyms, I got to have a gym that has a nice locker room. I'm talking about clean locker room. It's Planet Fitness, man. They put the focus on being clean 100%. And also, too, man, it's trainers on staff to help you with the things that you might need help with, man. So come to Planet Fitness. We'll welcome you with open arms. And the last thing, see, it's fitness that fits into your budget. So we're not going to charge your arm and a leg. Come on down to Planet Fitness. We'll get you right.
I got to tell you, when I was in Green Bay yesterday at some of the various tailgates, the Sun Cruiser vodka iced tea was going down pretty smooth. It didn't quite taste as good afterwards because the Lions spoiled it. I'm not going to lie. But while I was getting ready for it and while I was talking with folks and going back and forth between some beers and Sun Cruiser vodka iced tea, somebody did ask me, hey, what's that all about? Because we brought them from here. And I said, it's really good, man. It's real vodka. It's real iced tea. It's smooth. It's easy to drink. It doesn't fill you up. It's only got 100 calories. I said it's got 4.5% alcohol. Some people in Green Bay were trying it. They're like, I like this. So it really is. It's not a tagline. It's great for tailgates. It's great for you to be at home doing it. The guys here inside Woodward Sports watching the Lions, talking about the Lions during the game. Be a perfect time for them to sip on one or two as well. So we're ready to let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser and Woodward Sports. But please, always remember to drink responsibly.
And we bet.
Perhaps what might be lost in some of this frustration with Lions fans, and maybe this adds to your frustration, I don't know. But Green Bay, it's not like they played elite. They can improve too. And I get it. You guys always think like you can improve, but Micah Parsons played 29 snaps, everybody. I think it's overblown how effective he was, but we can debate that. But he only played 29 snaps.
How is it overblown?
Because every television network led with Micah Parsons and the impact he had. He had 3 pressures, and he had 1 pressure in the first half on 11 snaps. He had a sack. He chased down Jared Goff out of the pocket on an obvious passing situation. He was rushing in the fourth quarter, pinned his ears back. Every person was doing that. You know, we can debate. You and I already have debated a little bit on the interception. I don't think he was that big of a factor as much as everybody else does. I've made it clear. I think he's a great player, and I love him, okay? And I want him on my team, depending on the type of teammate he is. But from a production standpoint, from a freak athlete standpoint, I love him. I've said he's as close to Lawrence Taylor,
which is high
who
praise.
I think is the best, him and Aaron Donald, the best defensive players I've ever seen. He's as close to that as it gets. So this is not a knock on him, how much I like him. Right. I just think people are overblowing it because we take a side. We look at a guy and we're like, I love that guy. I'm never going to give it up. And I got to have him, right? And the Packers, that's the big name. He's the last guy introduced, which was really cool. It was a really cool scene when he was introduced. I just think it's been overblown. He's going to get better. He's going to be a serious problem. On Thanksgiving, he may make us choke on a turkey leg. But I do believe it was a little overblown.
I'll let you have that comment. I don't think it's – maybe if you want to start with Micah Parsons and say that, oh, he's the reason they won the game, et cetera, all right, then maybe it's a little overblown. Mm-hmm. They played a team game, offense, Jordan Love, they were cooking. Protection was great. Rashawn Gary had a really good game from the opposite side, defensive end, and their interior was good. That's where they were really good, which is crazy because they gave up some interior pieces. And they weren't even at full throttle. Right. They got 2 defensive ends and 1 starter that's not even playing.
And that was supposed to be their weakness, by the way.
Exactly. Yeah. And then Micah Parsons, that's the first accident he's seen since December.
Right.
But what I will say is the very first play of the game, he comes in, he gets up underneath Peneso, forces Jared Goff to throw on the run, the ball's incomplete, 3 and out. That's the start of the game. And Jared Goff felt that pressure. Even on the play where he throws the interception, you and I can disagree, but what we're not going to disagree with is Jared Goff saw Micah Parsons. Sure. Like he saw him the entire way. They had 4 sacks yesterday. No, they had 3 sacks yesterday. 4 sacks.
No, they had 4.
They had 4
sacks.
3 of those sacks happened when he was on the field. 3 of those sacks happened when he was on the field. He played 29 plays and he affected it in such a way. And the rundown, it's an obvious pass play, but that boy was moving.
Well,
he was humping.
He's really fast.
And
Jared Goff's not. But look, I mean, I'm not going to take it away from Micah
well, I know
Parsons.
somebody else who's strong is Penei Sewell, and Penei Sewell had his hands full all game.
Well, Penei Sewell owned him a couple of times too. Let's remember that. That's number one. Number two is when you look at Micah Parsons, they're moving him around, which I think is great. I thought you were going to say they were forced to double him on more than one occasion, and that does free up his
more
teammates.
impact.
So that is more impact without question. He won 46% of the time.
Yeah.
Is what at least that's what next gen stats say. To that point, and like I think the only time we look at offensive linemen is when they get beaten, and it's bullcrap. Okay, Penei Sewell was on point at times against him. I was surprised how much they lined him up against Sewell. Here is the Pro Football Focus or the Next Gen Stats blocking grades, okay, percentage-wise. Decker at 73.5%. Glasgow at 71.9. This is just blocking, okay. Sewell at 69.7. Mahogany at 43.9 and Ratledge at 39.2.
You can't have 40s and 30s.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Yeah.
Pro Football Focus grades. Now, you've always warned me, be careful on how you look at the grades overall, all right? The worst grades were DJ Reader, or Glasgow, rather, was number one. He was the worst. DJ Reader was second worst. Then DJ Reed, Marcus Davenport, Penei Sewell, and Christian Mahogany, according to Pro Football Focus.
Yeah, I mean, you take it with a grain of salt, but those are 4 areas of concern, and all 4 of them are the worst 4 grade outs.
Yeah.
Like, that's concerning. Game 1.
I do wonder, I wanted to ask you this. Jordan Love threw a pick.
Yeah.
Okay? On that pick, there were 2 penalties called. One was on Racine. I think it was Racine.
Oh, Racine.
He got the penalty for holding. And the other was on Aiden
97.
Hutchinson for blocking Jordan Love, which is interesting considering Jared Goff got chin music last year against Washington and there was no call.
At home.
At home. In a playoff game. How much would that have changed things, do you think? If that's an interception, we don't know what they do with the football, but we do know they scored on that. So how much does that change things, do you think? You know what what I'm referring to, right?
No, okay. Exactly. In terms of what the game is, the momentum, the whole 9 yards. It just, even if they get that interception, I just don't know that offense, I don't know if that rhythm was there for them to do something with it. Like, I don't know if that leads to anything but a field goal by Jake Bates. And it's points on the board, mind you. You can never make small points on the board. But they just didn't have that rhythm yesterday. They didn't have that. They were get going. Like, they could not run the ball. The Lions' identity is running the ball. Everything in Detroit starts with the run. They were able to run the ball with Jameer and David Montgomery, even Jamal Williams. Like, that led to play action, which Jared Goff is number 1 in the NFL last 2 seasons in play action passing. Like, that's their main staple. So when you can't run the ball and then you're getting pressure up the middle, like, it's not very much that you can do on offense. So Johnny Morton, hands are tied in that situation. That seems like that's a conversation for Hank Fraley to have this week with his guys, the guys up front. You got to pick something that you're going to do well. I get it, Tate. I understand it's game 1. You know, I get it. You'll get better. Look, I had an okay first game. Like, it wasn't to rag home by. In fact, I remember my grade. It was a 76. So I'm not ragging on you for that. But they're going to have to find a way, either to run or to pass. You can't be bad in both. You got to figure out what you're going to do. Is it going to be the run? Is it going to be the pass? But you can't be bad in both, because if you can't run the ball for them, now you're wasting the 4-2 guy on the outside. Now you can't even get down to the red zone to use Isaac Tesla. Like, that's where they want to use him, the fringe, 25, 30 going in. They didn't even get there.
Yeah, well, they need to use him earlier than that. That's what I would say. I'm not saying, just like Zadarius Smith, that he's the difference maker and they win the game. But I
that
can't.
Catch, though, you can't ignore the catch. Like that, you can't ignore it.
Yeah, the catch is
you can't ignore that
catch. Into a position where it's like maybe he can be somewhat of a difference maker in those types of situations. You saw what he did. That catch,
I don't know how you
range,
did. Here's what I would ask people who doubt it.
Yeah.
Not that it isn't fair. What is it that he hasn't done that makes you doubt him? Don't give me Arkansas and that they didn't use him that much. I want to know what you've seen with him, because you didn't watch him at Arkansas, and you sure as hell didn't watch him at Hillsdale.
Stop calling us out.
So tell me, what is it that he hasn't done in his preseason games, because nobody played in the preseason. The guy screaming behind us didn't play in the preseason.
Yeah, sure.
The guy who showed up and came out of the tunnel and went like this, like Russell Crowe, okay, in Gladiator, didn't play in the preseason. Tesla did.
Yeah.
What is it that he didn't do that you need to see to make him play more than Khalif Raymond? That's all I'm asking.
The answer for me is nothing. And it's funny you mentioned Khalif Raymond. Love Khalif Raymond. I met him at Amon-Ra's bowling event 2 years ago. Super good dude.
Yeah.
Great conversation.
Right.
He's a great player. Great special teams guy. When you got a guy that's 6'4.5" and can make the catches that you saw in that end zone, that you saw at Arkansas, that you saw in the preseason, look, at some point you got to believe what you see. And remember how they used to use Mike Williams for the Chargers when he first got there? It was a quick weapon for Justin Herbert. 1, 2, 3 drop. Quick fade. Either Mike Williams is going to catch this fade, which is going to get you about 15, 18 yards, or guess what they're going to do? They're going to throw some laundry. And guess what? The refs, they like Isaac Tesla.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, that's how you get him involved. Start giving him some quick fades, some quick slants. Let him use his body and see what happens.
One of the many things I thought, and then we'll get to the super chat, so I apologize, Kool-Aid. One of the many things I loved about the Lions receiving core is that they could beat you in so many different ways with so many different quote-unquote bodies. Jamison Williams, straight line. He's so much better now than he ever has been. He's deserved the extension because of how mature he's become and how much better he's become. So I'm all good with it. He's changed my mind. But, boom, linear, right? Amon St. Brown. Best hands, among the best hands in all of football. Better than CeeDee Lamb, for crying out loud. We all know that. Really good. Okay? And then you've got, I thought, Tesla at 6'4", 220. Oh, I'm sorry. The guy who's 5'8", $180, you'd rather have out there. For what reason? I'm just looking at different bodies who have different challenges against the secondary for the opposition. I don't understand why he's not playing more. And maybe it'll change.
I will also tell you this. Between two wide receivers now, the Detroit Lions are currently paying almost $60 million. In fact, I think it is $60 million. Get them the ball.
Amen.
Like, find a way to give them the ball like that. There's no semantics with that. There's nothing more. $60 million for number 1 and number 14. Find a way to get them the ball. I don't care what you have to do. Max protect. Use the tight ends. That's what Brock Wright is here for. This is what Sam Laporta also did at Iowa. He was a great he was a great pass pro tight end. Yeah. Use him. There are ways in which you can get the ball out on the outsides. There are ways in which you can affect the game. Max Pro, do something.
I thought they did go double tight quite a bit yesterday.
Yeah, towards the end,
Yeah, toward the end. All right, let's get to some super chats. Super chats, rather.
Oh, yeah,
Kool-Aid, go ahead,
definitely.
buddy.
The people have been active in the chat. Maybe to Braylon's liking, because I know he was like, look, I'm here to make sure that we're telling people the truth rather than trying to tell people what they want to hear.
Yeah, not
Nick,
today.
Well, he said not today.
Not
Nick
today.
with the $4.99 super chat. He said, why were we dropping defensive ends in coverage on third downs? Please explain. What am I missing? Honestly.
It's not unique. It's not unique.
It is not unique. It's a way to cheat. It's a way to confuse Jordan Love. He starts seeing people drop, and then he goes underneath as opposed to going over top. So they were trying to confuse Jordan Love a little bit. And he did have some They did have some success on Jordan Love and that in the second half. You know, he started off hot. He finished with 188 yards. Maybe because they didn't need it, but it's more so to confuse Jordan Love, let him see some different things pre and post snap, and see what he really is. Because as good as he played in those 2 series, as good as he was, like Jordan Love is still one of those quarterbacks where like the verdict's still out on. It's like any other quarterback. If you give him a clean pocket, if you give him some weapons, sure. And he's a first-round quarterback. Sure. He's a guy that can make some plays if you give him offensive coordinator like Matt LaFleur. But he's still not a guy that I'm like, oh yeah, like that's why I love that going back to the next time the Detroit Lions see him, because I'm still not sold on Goff. But if you don't rush him
on Love, you mean? Yeah, I don't believe he's an elite quarterback, but he is a chic pick now to be in the MVP discussion. First of all, I like him. I like the way he handles himself. I think he throws a really nice ball.
Can I say something cheap?
Yeah, go.
This may be nitpicking. This may be either me being too nitpicky or me being on point. It's nothing in the middle. When he dropped back to throw that post route that was wide open, and he threw it not behind him, but he threw a little in, so he had to stop, boom, he gets tackled. That play right there for me is not elite. And in a sense, if that was number 12, he would have thrown a pass that would have landed right on the fingertips of whichever one of those receivers was. I think it was Dubes. He would have walked in the end zone, and he would turn around, and he did the Lambeau leap. Like, if that was in the elite quarterback, to your point, but Jordan Love is a quarterback that's very serviceable, really good if you give him protection. That's what he did. An elite quarterback, that's a touchdown.
Like the throw from Allen last night after they recover the fumble from Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
The throw to the tight end to the 1 yard line. Hated the next two play calls, but that throw, that's an elite throw.
I'll give Josh Allen some credit because you know me, I'm always Lamar Jackson, still my guy.
Oh, yeah, he was great too.
I still think the Baltimore Ravens are a better team. Just like last year. Really, it's the same situation as last year. Now Baltimore has to go to Buffalo, but I will say this. Josh Allen, in the big moments, in the big games, and he does not back down. He stares into the abyss of Lamar Jackson. He's like, look, I can do what you can do and maybe even better when it's me versus you. Josh Allen, yesterday, he went and got that game with some help, but he went and got that game. So kudos to Josh Allen. I will give him love. He went and took that game. Lamar had a great game, but it's something about some of the plays in the moments where Lamar double hitches or he short throws. And this is me talking about my guy. This is me, Lamar. I love him. He short throws. I think there is something in these moments, whether it's him versus Mahomes, whether it's him versus Allen, whether it's him in the AFC Championship. There's a little bit of a disconnect to the Superman and just the guy trying to figure it out.
That's why he's got. They've got to be there this year.
I
mean,
agree.
when people talk about certain teams that have to be in the Super Bowl, I really think it's either Baltimore or Buffalo who needs to be there for those two guys. But I agree with you. I've said this a long time. I called a couple.
Man,
of
that hurt to say.
Well, look,
It's
it's not. I mean, Lamar Jackson was fantastic last night. He's so dangerous, but I see him more dangerous with his legs than I do with his arm. I think Josh Allen has an unbelievable arm. And I called 2 of his games in college when he was at Wyoming. I don't think anybody saw this coming. The way he has changed his motion. And what I love about both of them is they are fearless.
Facts.
I don't have any problem with guys who say, I want the ball in my hands. Those guys are not afraid to fail. No. Like, they want to succeed for sure, but they'll take it. I'm going to throw this. I'm going to thread this flipping needle, and you watch how it ends up because I'm going to be victorious. And if they don't, they'll live with the consequences.
It always sucks watching Lamar's game, too, though, man. Adding this caveat to it is, shout out to my boy D-Mac, man, in the caveat space. But it's always something in Lamar's game where he'll play either great, really good, damn good, and here comes Mark Andrews. Here comes Zay Flowers with the penalty. Here comes Derrick Henry with the fumble. And he's done stuff too, so I'm not eliminating him. He fumbled and threw interception last year. Yeah. But it's always like, oh, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great finish. And then it's something. It's like
something's holding back.
100%. That's what sport is, though. Like Derrick Henry had another amazing game from a 10-year vet. Well, how is he that fast at that size? I still don't understand. He's getting faster in his, younger but older age.
And stronger.
100%. Has an amazing game. Strong as I don't know what. No one wants to tackle him. He fumbles, and now all you can remember about that game is the man fumble. Yeah. Like, sport is a hell of a place.
It's almost unfair.
It is.
Derrick Henry, really, he is the closest thing to Earl Campbell, only I think he's faster. Continue with the Super Chat. Sorry about that.
Oh, no.
We could go on and on. And I mean, this is this is two guys sitting at a bar right now.
Oh, yeah, because you already know how Monday is, especially after a loss. It's the people, it's their therapy. You guys are doing a good thing today, especially paying a lot of attention to it because the Super Chats are flying in and the chat family are being active. Still I Rise, $4.99 Super Chat says, golf's first season without Ben Johnson or Sean McVay calling genius plays. He believes 5-12 season is incoming. Yes, those Lions fans are out there.
Yeah. You can't use Maya Angelou and then be that negative. You can't use Maya Angelou and be that still I rise, and then you say 5-12.
5-12 would be.
That's not rising.
That's not rising.
That's not rising.
That's descending quickly.
100%.
That would be that would cause for not just concern. That would cause for heads to roll. I mean, in the words of Judas Priest, some heads are going to roll.
Who gets fired first if they're 5-12?
Well, let's put it this way. I don't think either one of them get fired. But my guess would be in that scenario outside Detroit, it would be a coach.
Okay, I like what you did there.
I like that, but it's not Detroit.
Michael Wary, $2 Super Chat. He says maybe we needed that wake up call. I'm just saying. I don't know if it's the fans, the Lions themselves, or all of the above, but yeah, the wake up call is definitely needed. Six-string Lion, 199 super chat. He agrees with you guys as it relates to identity. He says the team looked like they had no grit, very, very, very different. And that is what I saw all across social media. That's the one unifying thing. No matter what side you were on, in terms of Parsons' effect or Sewell or Goff, if it was his fault, everybody believed that was not the identity of the Lions, even in losses. You always heard the division crying about the physicality that the Lions brought to the table, and it was just a lot left to be desired.
I'm glad you brought that up. Let me ask you a question, Shep, and Ryan, as well as Kool-Aid. One of the big things they talk about when it relates to Dan Campbell is what? His practices are what?
Really physical. It's the hardest practice. People have to get used to him. Tim Patrick even couldn't get used to him, or admitted he needed to get used to him, and then of course he got traded. 2005,
my rookie year, not 2005, 2011, my rookie year, playing with Jim Harbaugh in the 49ers. It was the hardest training camp that I ever had in the NFL. Like I'm talking about, it was bang, bang, bang. Body was sore. My body didn't recover fully. Probably like week 3, 4. Like I'm all right, I'm back good now. I can ease into the season. It takes a time sometimes. And when you don't have guys that are used to that, when you don't have studs that are used to that in certain positions, you can get, you know what I'm saying? Like last year, I'll give you an example. You're missing Frank Ragnow. You're missing Lee Manil on those sides. Like, yeah, they were beat up last year in that Rams game too, but they're just that much better. They still found a way on those sides to be that way. Yesterday, you had that long training camp. You had all that pounding. You had all that physicality, all that grit, everything that is. You see all the injuries that happened.
Back-to-back weeks against Miami and Houston.
Back-to-back weeks. How much of that played into that game yesterday? Because when that comment, not being there, echoes the comment that I said earlier and watched them just looking. They didn't have that same pop. They didn't have that same freshness. They didn't have the same juice. How much of that is Dan Campbell in his practice?
That's a great question. You're better to answer that than the three of us combined.
Yeah. But that's most, I guess, my question.
But I do believe it takes its toll. But I would remind people that was going into the last preseason game. They didn't have that going into the last regular. That was weeks 2 and 3, correct, for the preseason. I don't know how much week 4. A 4-week preseason would matter. But if that's the case, then us complaining that they didn't take any snaps, the first teamers didn't get snaps in the preseason, shouldn't matter, right? So you can't have it both ways. If you feel like it's really important to play in the preseason and you're worried about injuries and you're popping and all that other stuff, and then you're saying no, but because they're getting the physicality in the practices, why isn't it showing off? Why isn't it showcasing in a game that those practices, as physical as they may have been, has helped them?
Because practice is you can't emulate game unless you're doing an all-out scrimmage like a spring game, into where you're putting 60 minutes on the clock, you're doing a halftime, you're doing the whole 9 yards. You cannot replicate like game shape. You cannot replicate what the game speed is. The only way to replicate it is to do it, and that's what training camp. That's what the preseason is. That's what those preseason games are. It's getting to the stadium at a certain time. It's getting out and practice. See, how much practice do I need? How many in the warm-ups do I do? What time am I putting my shoulder pads on the first time? What time am I getting out there to get my wind sprints in? Like the team, how much effort am I exuding in the warm-up? Now here's the game. Now I'm playing the game. Now I'm getting hit. Like having that's major. Like it's major. You need all those things.
I think so too. I mean, in my experience in talking with players, as much as you may roll a collective eye on preseason games, and I get it,
you benefit from it.
But otherwise you're not playing them. There is a benefit there. So all that routine for sure, but just the fact that you're lined up and going toe to toe with somebody else, even though it may only be a couple of series or maybe even just a quarter, I'm just not sure how it's benefited Detroit this year, and I don't mean to second guess, but I was first guessing when they were first doing that in the first place.
2008 training camp, this would have been week 1. Like after practice with myself, Dante Stallworth, Josh Cribbs, the wide receivers used to do, boom, take the cleats off, and then we wind sprint, over and back, over and back, over and back. That's how you get in some better shape for camp, getting shape faster, and then ready to rock and roll. One of these particular times, I took my shoe off, and after we finished, Dante Stallworth came, jumped on my back, playing around, and when he came down, his cleat, he didn't take his shoes off. His cleat went into my ankle around the Achilles area. So it cut all the way down to Achilles, but it didn't clip the Achilles, so I was good. Went to the hospital. They stitched it up, but because Cleveland was so dirty at the time because there were a lot of staph infections. There were a lot of MRSAs. They didn't want me privy to that. So they had me stay home the rest of training camp for the most part. And then I would come in the morning, 6 a.m. I would get my bandage changed. Welcome to Cleveland. Get my bandage changed. Then I would go back home, and I would do this process for the next 2.5, 3 weeks till it healed. And then I came the week the season started, practiced, and played. When I tell you, Shep, I had practiced all off season. I had been in mini camps. I had done the things necessary. I was in shape. I was ready to rock and roll. That 2.5 weeks that I wasn't playing and wasn't doing anything, when the game started, I started against the Cowboys that opening week, September 11th. I was out of sorts, like lining up, in game shape, at the line of scrimmage, trying to get off on Anthony Henry. Like I'm like, oh man, I'm getting jammed up. Like I just wasn't in the rhythm. I wasn't in sync. Like because I had missed those, because I hadn't got that training camp. Excuse me, those preseason games. I didn't get into a rhythm. I sucked. I legitimately sucked. I had 2 drops. I sucked that first game. Sucked that second game. Realistically, it took me a second to get into my rhythm, and by game 4 or 5, I was able to start figuring it out. But it's a real thing to play in those preseason games and get used to your rhythm that the season is going to be. It's real.
That is great perspective, and that's what you get. Braylon Edwards with the Braylon Breakdown coming up for sure. We got more of the super chats and just some really good comments in the chat as well. We'll get to that when we come back here on Woodward Sports on the Braylon Edwards Show. But first, let me tell you about Les Stanford, who's got inventory for what seems to be miles, colors of trucks and SUVs, and then, of course, anything that you want inside. Deck it out as much as you want. You deserve it. And some great deals that are going on right now. Like, check out that 2025 Sierra Double Cab Elevation, $169 plus tax. The 2025 Hummer EV SUT with tax $599, $699 a month. So get to Les Stanford today. Check out the massive inventory. Be dealing with some great people who know exactly what you want and are ready to fill your needs. It's at Les Stanford Buick and GMC. Go to their website, lesstanford.com.
Look, man, I'm telling you, here in Michigan, the summer is holding on. Look at the weather outside right now. Look how nice it is. Look how sunny it is. It's beautiful outside. You know what you need? You need a car wash. This is car wash weather. You can only do it in one place. It's Jack's Car Wash. In fact, we want to get you started. Why don't you text WSN to 888-522-1729. That's text WSN to 888-522-1729. That's a free car wash. Trying to get your free car wash, man, you need to get a part of that unlimited plan, though. $29.99, and you can get your car wash every day of the month. That's it, $30 a month. $30 a month. That's less than $1 a day in most months. Free vacuums, free compressed air, free vac cleaning and everything. Look, man, Jack's is the car wash place for me, so it's the car wash place for you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards Shep.
Edwards has it. 10, 5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Bar looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network. Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Belizean. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions.
Talking about the man we love and know here, it's Dr. Pierce, man. He's the injury insider, Dr. Jeff Pierce, man. You can see him on Big D Energy on Tuesdays, and then you can see him on our show, Braylon Edwards Show with Shep, on Thursdays. The best thing about Doc, he can diagnose anything, and not just for athletes, whether they're high school, college, old NFL guys like myself. No, he can do it for any and everybody. You got a back pain, you got a neck pain, you got a knee pain, you got ankle, whatever you have. You call 248-426-9944. Ask for Dr. Jeff Pierce or scan the QR code above my head, and he will get you back into the game, whatever game that is that you want to play, whether it's golf, whether it's bowling, whether it's just chilling, walking around the mall but wanting to feel healthy. Go see Doc. No need for that back to hurt anymore. Go see the injury inside.
And, Braylon, when we talk about really good people, for sure, Dr. Pierce is one of those guys. Les Stanford's one of those guys. So is the folks at Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been serving Metro Detroit for over 40 years, folks. They treat you like family. I know that sometimes can be a cliche, but it really is true. Here's what they deal with. They deal with heating, cooling, indoor air quality, really important this time of year, water heaters, whole home generators, and memberships as well. Right now, see, if they didn't care about you, if they didn't think you were a part of their family, they would not be giving you this offer. DTE gas customers get a free furnace tune-up through December 1st. So take advantage of it because the cold weather is not far away. Call Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning today. Here's the number, 734-238-3839. That's 734-238-3839, or scan the QR code right above my head there on your screen right now. Tell them the Braylon Edwards Show sent you.
Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. There we go. We're back, Shep.
Hey, by the way, what was the biggest surprise performance of the weekend for you? The biggest surprise of the week. For me, it was Aaron Rodgers, and it's really not even close. Yeah. I know. I know how people feel about him. I don't blame you.
I just thought
I picked them to win.
Fall off already.
We got to start keeping track of the picks. If we're going to pick, we got to keep track.
I lost 3 games.
I had a good week. I lost 3 too.
I lost the Patriots. I lost the Lions.
Falcons. I lost Baltimore and the Lions. That's what I lost.
And I lost. I took somebody. Oh, did I lose the Colts game? I might have lost the Colts game.
No, he's the only one who took the Dolphins.
No, I took the Colts.
You took the Dolphins?
I think so.
Yeah, you took the Dolphins. You took the Colts.
Yeah, I did take the Colts. Yeah. I lost 3 games. I just know. Oh, the Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah, lost the Patriots.
There you go. Same.
Yeah.
Well, you had Buffalo. I had Baltimore. So I lost that one.
Yeah. So I've got 3 losses going. And tonight I've got
Minnesota.
I think I've got Minnesota. No, I think I've got Chicago.
I got Minnesota.
I think I have Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that I care. But the biggest surprise for me, I did pick Pittsburgh. But the biggest surprise for me is the fact that Aaron Rodgers looked as good as he did. He did. He looked pretty good. So got to give him credit. While I was at those tailgates outside of Lambeau, I was asking people there, hey, are you rooting for Aaron Rodgers? Most of them said yes. There's a few that said, I'm just glad the drama's gone. And I thought, that's interesting. Has there been drama for Detroit that you can think of recently? And I can't think of any drama that they've had to experience.
Maybe Zadarius Smith's situation.
Well, this year.
Yeah.
We think. But that's not that's not drama with him here. There wasn't drama with him here.
Oh, you mean on the team.
Yeah. I'm not talking about from a fan perspective. I would agree with that.
The only drama would have been the DB from Pittsburgh, Cam Sutton.
Yeah.
Now Cam.
Well, what about Gardner Johnson? There was a little bit of drama there, right?
True, but that was that was his mouth.
Yeah.
that was his mouth and not feeling appreciated, not feeling validated.
Yeah.
No, that Cam situation was actual drama. What's his name? It was Cam Sutton?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
Cam Sutton.
Sutton.
Yeah, Cam Sutton.
Yeah.
That was some.
Yeah.
T. Falls called him Sutton Toast.
Sutton Toast.
He was on the run. The man was on the lam.
Yeah.
J-Mo was suspended once or twice.
J-Mo had a bunch of immature things, but I guess that is drama.
Maybe.
By definition.
That's a good one, right?
I was about to defend him. I had to take my Ben Johnson hat off. I was like, let me not defend him. I said, all right, you're right. There was something.
All right, keep the super chats coming. What do you have one?
Nobody just really. It's a whole. Nobody really looked great. Outside of Green Bay looked pretty good, but whatever. And then Baltimore and Buffalo, they look good.
Yeah.
But the Raiders look good, but The 49ers won, but
Bengals didn't look good.
Broncos didn't look as good as I thought they would.
Right.
That might be my biggest surprise. I think, are we placing too much stock in a Bo Nix-led Broncos team because of Sean Payton? Because it didn't look.
You're right.
Yeah.
Two picks. The Daniel Jones performance
Go Daniel.
against Miami.
Danny Dimes is back.
And the other thing I couldn't help but wonder is when that first or the second preseason game, Detroit's practicing against Miami. Remember?
Yeah.
What was our conversation about? Our conversation was about how Detroit was dominating.
Yeah.
Hutchinson had 7 sacks. All the reports. I'm not saying the reports were wrong.
He should have
seen how Miami got piss pounded.
But it looked like the clips when we watched the Detroit stuff. It looked the same. And then Tyreek Hill, now he's right back where he was at the end of last season.
Yeah.
Remember walking off the field? What he say? I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Now he's right back just yelling at everybody. Something about Miami has a very similar feel to Dallas minus the regular season winning. It's just always at some point it's dysfunctional, whether it's Brian Flores and the Tom Brady thing and Stephen Ross, whether it's Tyreek Hill and before the game last year. Remember when he got arrested before the game?
Yeah.
Which wasn't his fault, the only thing, but it just always seems like there's something going on in Miami to where, this ain't the place to win.
And now it's Mike McDaniel dressing like a Lululemon model. All right, let's get to the Braylon Edwards breakdown, Braylon's breakdown. It's one of the highlights of the week. I look forward to it all the time, no matter what day it's on. He's going to take us through some key points and what he recognized in that Packers-Lions game from yesterday. Braylon, go ahead, buddy.
All right, let me see. We got the mic. Mike is micing right here.
Yep.
All right, we'll break this down. I know you guys don't want to relive this play because it was an interception, but you know what? It comes with the territory. When you lose, we got to break down some of these things. Pre-snap right now, it looks like it's going to be cover 4. You got 4 guys back. 1, 2, 3, 4 across. That's what cover 4 usually is. That's what Jared Goff is reading right now. So in his mind, he's thinking he's probably got cover 4, one-on-one right here with him. Amon-Ra be ready right here. That's pre-snap. That's what Jared Goff is thinking. I want to get my guy St. Brown in this area where the sticks are right here. That's what he's looking like. It looks open because it looks cluttered to the boundary. It looks cluttered. It looks like 1, 2, 3 guys, 2 wide receivers. Looks cluttered. Next clip, if you will. Boom. Next clip, you see the shift. Now it looks like it's going to cover 2. You see the DB or the linebacker rotating out. He doesn't want anybody to go outside, so he's rotating out that way. Now this is shifting. This is becoming cover 6. Cover 6, Jared Goff has got to know that they will rotate to this spot, and they will play cover 4, which means they will double this guy right here, which means that will be more open way up there. All right, so now it should go
and what about
to
that
the backside.
Pocket too?
You said what?
I just have my eyes on that pocket.
Talk to me.
The pocket?
Yeah.
Oh, the pocket's clean right now.
Pocket's clean right now.
The pocket's clean right now. You got a nice pocket right here. It's about to not be clean, but right now it's clean. It's clean across the board. This boy right here was working. Panay's already off balance right now, but here we go. Next play. All right, now you can see clear as day what it looks like. Look where Jared Goff is. He didn't pay attention. He stayed locked on 14, and that's what happens when you got a great wide receiver. I'm not mad he's locked on 14 most times because he comes up for you. But in this space right here, Jared's got to see it. Jared's got to see it. You got one guy who's not paying him any attention. He's focused on here. You got another guy driving right here. And then you got a safety that's waiting to see what's going to happen. You got 4 guys essentially. Just look at the picture.
Jeez.
1, 2, 3, 4, covering 2.
What's the read?
And
the read is
what is he reading, do you think, here? Is he reading the safety? Is he reading Williams?
Should have been reading the safety, and he didn't. Okay. Should have been reading the safety, and he didn't. Because if you look at everybody's trying to push this way. They know what's going to come. Meanwhile, you can see on the backside what's about to be open. Because what the backer's going to do up there, he's trying to push outside of LaPorta so that he keeps LaPorta on the inside, which means naturally what's going to happen. Naturally, J-Mo will come wide open in that window right around where that first down is and put the ball on him, and linebacker's got his back turned. So this is cover 6, because now this is cover 2 up top, cover 4 down here. And the ball should be in the cover 2 window. Next picture.
So it started like it was cover 4. That's the pre-snap.
Right.
Yeah.
As the ball is snapped,
it rotates to 6.
Rotates to cover 2 and then cover 6,
2,
right?
6, exactly. 100%.
That's a lot of adjustment in a matter of time.
Yeah.
And I got to ask you one more time. That pocket. Now how's it looking?
Well, it's
the pocket is still
okay
clean
right
for
now.
Jared Goff, though. But you see somebody is
getting
behind.
somewhere.
You do see somebody is behind right now. And now throw it. Next one. Now look. That's exactly what you want, because the ball should have been on J-Mo soon as he came out of that break. And excuse me, not J-Mo. Yeah, J-Mo on top.
J-Mo right there.
Ball should have been right. That's Khalif. Ball should have been right on J-Mo as soon as he came out of that. He catches it, he falls forward, or he catches it and you knock him down at the 11. Now you got a decision to make. Now here's a decision to make. Instead, he throws it to where there are now 1, 2, 3, and he actually slipped. You can see what had a shot. And you throw it to Amon-Ra because that's your guy, rightfully so. But you just can't do that. Jared's an experienced quarterback. He's a Pro Bowl quarterback. He's a $53 million quarterback that's been in the NFC Championship and a Super Bowl. You can't do that in this point of the game. 1:11. You know what the most important time in the game is? Last 4 minutes. It's the last 2 of the second,
said that before.
and it's the last 2 of the fourth. This is the last 2. Because just look what this does. Even if you don't throw an interception, 6. You get 6 on the board. Points are always important. Or you get a first down, you give yourself a chance, and then the rest is history. You get the next clip, and it was indeed intercepted. It's a hell of a catch. It's a great play, but it's a play he knew that was there. That wasn't necessarily a great play by him. It was a bad play by number 16, your quarterback. Look at J-Mo. You got 2 guys in the window, if you want to be honest, because Sam's now come open in the second window behind J-Mo, and that's really the first down throw. So that's what it looks like. That's the plays, and that's why everybody has a role in
this.
That's
a great breakdown, man. That's one of the better breakdowns I've seen. Now, so here's what I would ask you.
Crazy for
when he's doing that, is he too locked in on the one guy, or did Green Bay just confuse him?
I think because he's been confused for the first half, like they were getting after him a lot, I think he just locked his eye and said, I don't want to even look backwards. And then also you see somebody flash. Now I'll go back to that. That's what you talked about, Kool-Aid. Go back 2 screens, Ryan. I appreciate you.
Which one?
Just go back a screen. Micah, good to Micah. Well, Micah's touching him right there. Like, this is where Micah is in this screen. He saw Micah at the beginning, and I guarantee you Jared Goff stayed where he was because he didn't want to lose sight of Micah. So now, as opposed to dropping back, and I see the coverage, I know it's about to go back here to J-Mo. Now I turn to do that. He didn't want to take his eyes off of number 1. Yeah. And that's the effect and that's the impact that Micah had yesterday.
Number 1 is in the first receiver.
100%. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. So, no, Micah Parsons was number 1.
Oh, number 1. I got you.
100%.
So. The ball right there is at the 20, or is that the 16-yard line?
The ball's at 16.
Yeah. Right.
So,
I mean, I'm talking about the circle.
Right here.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, move up between the hashes. That's the ball, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's what I thought. Yeah. So, right there. Yeah.
A little dot. Yeah. So, he's got to be better at reading those coverages. That's a coverage that rotated. He's got to see it. He's got to make that adjustment. He didn't, and that was a major play that cost him.
Yeah, I love that breakdown, man. I love the concepts you're taking us through. Cover 2 or cover 4, which is basically guys going deep, right?
Yeah.
Cover 2, where one player has the out and one has the deep out on each side, and then cover 6, where it's almost like lopsided on the side of the field.
And you can see what they're trying to do. The Lions, they're not they understand that they don't have a lot of time. So that's why the routes are short. Routes are 6-yard curl routes, as you alluded to earlier, and they're inside the numbers. So that's closer to Jared Goff. That allows him to take a drop, be able to get rid of the ball. But between the going the wrong way and a little bit of the pressure, he can't see, and then here's an interception that cost him.
Yeah. By the way, when I had brought up, just real quick because it just popped in my head, I had brought up how good Aaron Rodgers was. Your guy, Will Johnson, was pretty awesome, too.
Man, Will Johnson.
When you talk about a great performance over the weekend, he has to be considered.
Against Ohio State with Chris Olave. Chris Olave is a guy that he could be the next Wes Welker if he's not careful. I really want him to take care of his health because he's had like 10 concussions.
Already?
What? You got to look it up. If you go to YouTube and type in Chris Olave concussions, it's like 10 nasty hits. And he's literally only in year 4 or 5.
Yeah.
It's been 10 nasty hits.
But that's dangerous.
You know what could be dangerous? Is put that same play up there. Just put the last one up there. It's all good. This is what could be dangerous. You mentioned it. As opposed to that guy at the bottom being Khalif Raymond, number 11, if that's Isaac Tesla, there's more emphasis and there's more focus on that secondary player looking at him. Now Amon-Ra might be opening that hole.
That's beautiful.
Hey, now he might be opening that
How great
zone.
is that?
But they're not paying him attention because it's Khalif Raymond. They never throw Khalif the ball.
Such good stuff.
Or down the field or a little trick play.
Yeah.
That's Isaac Tesla. Now you have to pay that more attention. And now you add more eyes to distract.
Does it make it
see what Joe says in the chat? Did you see his, Joe says, that is so cool. Should have these breakdowns every Monday.
Say less. We'll do
Joe,
it. It's the plan.
Amen to that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not just going to be Lions. It might be some really good stuff from Aiden Childs at Michigan State, what Bryce Underwood may have to look at after Michigan's game. There's a lot of different ways he can go with the Braylon's breakdowns. It's really good stuff.
I'm also not running from the Michigan conversation, too. Like, my boys got beat up on. We can talk about that at some point,
Yeah, no,
too.
we'll talk about that when we come back.
Yeah,
we got to take a quick time out here on the Braylon Edwards Show on Woodward Sports. But first, when we do come back, we'll talk a little more college football. Michigan ran into a pretty damn good defense in Oklahoma. Michigan State had a thrilling win at Spartan Stadium. It's always a thrill when you sit down and eat at Black Rock.
Yes, it is. Not also a thrill. It sizzles as well. Look for dinner pills that sizzle. Head to Black Rock Bar and Grill. Don't miss their daily deals like Tasty Tuesdays, Thursdays, Steak and Scampi Combo, and then the Sunday Sips. But also, the best thing about it right now, if you go into any Black Rock around this state, whether it's Novi, Porter's, Davidson, Canton, you get the picture. All you got to do is mention 20%. All you have to do is mention Woodward Sports, and you get 20% off the bill. The sizzle above the rest. Come on, man. Black Rock, they do it right. The food is unique. The food, especially when they changed the menu up. I'm telling you, we went there recently, and the menu was legit. Pull up on Black Rock. Get some of that volcanic rock cooked at 755 degrees steak. That's the place for me, man. That's the place for you. Only at Black Rock.
Steak. That sounds so good right now.
Steak that sizzles.
While we sit here and chat about sports, there are three lovely ladies right next to us. They are having a conversation on how to continue to make things better and your experience better at Lady Jane's. That's a really hard thing to do because Lady Jane's already makes it really easy for you. You come in off the street, you sign in, and boom. Next thing you know, you're in a chair and you are talking to one of these lovely young ladies and getting your hair cut. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple, it's convenient, and it's very affordable. You're out the door, you're looking sharp, much sharper than you were when you came through the door in the first place. It's hard to believe, but they're open 7 days a week, 10 till 8, for your convenience. Lady Jane's, thinking about you, it is wicked awesome.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Belizean. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Woodward Sports, live all game day. Go Lions! Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports. Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10, 5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Bar looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
Buddy's Pizza.
Are you hungry?
It's awesome.
I am, actually.
I know. I am too. Every time I hear about Black Rock and every time I hear about Buddy's Pizza, and I love Buddy's Pizza, but when you got to stare at that picture and you see how good that pizza looks, knowing that you're hungry, and then you got to talk about it, that can be a cruel trick sometimes. But I'm trying to help you because Buddy's Pizza is the real deal. Created the category for the original Detroit-style pizza. Okay, they've been doing it since 1946. Nobody does it better than Buddy's, and they got 22 locations throughout the state of Michigan. So there's going to be a Buddy's Pizza near you. In fact, my son and I played golf on Saturday morning, and he said, "What do you want to play for?" I said, "Let's play for a pizza." And he said, "Okay, what pizza are you going to get?" I said, "Are you kidding me? Give me the meat lovers at Buddy's. That's what we're going for." So it's a cornerstone in the city of Detroit. You're with me, right? Absolutely. Yeah, it is dope. 78 years dedicated to the community. Save 10% right now off your entire order using the promo code 10MEAL. That's the number 10, MEAL. Go find a location near you, buddyspizza.com. I warn you, though, if you're hungry, you're going to order more, but then, of course, you get extra, and you can have it for a later date. Good for you.
And college football is back. Nothing happened this weekend with Michigan football at all. But if something did, I know where you can catch the action. Not just Braylon's show, but Woodward Sports College Football Show as well. Hosted by that dude Justin Satawa, and Haley Scott. Live every Tuesday. Y'all see that there. It's 7:30 p.m. on the graphic now. So make sure you guys stay tapped in, stay locked with everything college football all season long. From touchdowns to tailgates, rivalries, to rankings, we got you covered. Remember, don't miss a minute on the Woodward Sports College Football Show, Tuesdays at 7:30. It's your home for all things Wolverines and Spartans.
Hey, RJ Graham.
We back.
The answer to that is no, but I wouldn't say no to it. He asked in the chat, is Shep eating Buddy's Pizza every day now? No, but it's so good. I mean, it's pretty close. I think it's hard to eat something the same meal every day. We've had that conversation in the show before. Yeah. Buddy's Pizza, if you said to me, fork to nose, you're going to have to eat this pizza every day, Give me some buddies because I think it's that good.
I'm seeing a lot of love for Braylon's breakdown in the chat.
I appreciate that, man.
And for good reason.
Great.
Look, I'm gonna stand on the pulpit right now. It's the best segment in Detroit sports. Period. Because I believe it's, first of all, it's fun.
Tell him, Shep.
Second of all, it's educational. And thirdly, he's got a great smile when he gives it. But it is everything you could want. Where else you getting it? No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
You're not getting it on radio. You're not getting it on TV. Okay? It's legit stuff. He doesn't sugarcoat it. He's not going to kiss ass. He's not going to say, I'm worried about offending anybody. He'll do it with Michigan, too. Michigan wasn't good. Period. They weren't good against Oklahoma. So we had to do the Lions breakdown for good reason because I asked Braylon if he could find some things for the Lions that he could do. He was ready to do Michigan. So don't think this is any homerism just because he's wearing Michigan. Michigan didn't play well. Michigan State played well. I mean, their defense may be a little suspect. That quarterback for BC, pretty good. The transfer from Alabama looked pretty strong. It was a thrilling game. My daughter was there. Yeah. Good for Aiden Childs. I thought he looked really athletic. He missed some throws. Quarterbacks are going to miss some throws. Those guys are not NFL players, all right? Bryce Underwood missed some throws. But overall, I thought Michigan State looked really good. What was your largest concern for Michigan, considering, Oklahoma's a better defense?
Yeah.
You and I talked about it last week.
Yeah.
When everybody's looking at Arch Manning, we forget. That's a pretty good defense they're going up against.
100%.
Then he kicks the crap out of a really bad defense. Bryce Underwood kicked the crap out of a bad defense, and he went up against a good defense. He's going to learn. I'm not worried about him, but he's going to learn from these mistakes.
Yeah, he's definitely going to learn from these mistakes. If you want to start with Bryce Underwood, then that's fine. But Bryce Young, he's got other problems to deal with. Anyway, let's stick with one Bryce.
Goodness, Bryce.
Bryce Underwood, I told you the same thing before the season started. I said when the season started, I said, don't panic when there's an interception. Right. Don't panic if there's a bad game. Don't panic if he goes down to Norman and he doesn't look like you want him to. You have to relax. There's a new offensive coordinator in Chip Lindsey, and I think Chip Lindsey, much like another offensive coordinator we talked about earlier, I think they got to just do a better job with the play calling and get the ball in some playmakers' hands, get him on the outside a little more. One of the big things you brought him in, he's dynamic. He gets out of the pocket. That's what made him the number one player on ESPN, not the number one quarterback, but the number one player. You can't be so scared of him getting hurt that you don't allow him to do what he's really good at. Don't allow him to do what helps him make him the dynamic quarterback. So they'll figure that out as they go along. That defense was good, and they had a lot of energy. Brett Venables needed a big win, and I think he got his team to a big win. There were some things you can take out of it. Michigan was in this fight. They were in this fight even in the start of the second half. At the end of the half, Michigan has a chance to make a field goal, put themselves 3-7, about 3 minutes left. They missed the field goal. This is a field goal kicker that has made 6 of 6 last year from 55. So I'll put you behind the 8 ball. But, that offensive line is going to be a big thing for the University of Michigan Wolverines. And I think that's the big thing is up until last year, they were the Joe Moore Award winner. Mm-hmm. They were the Joe Moore Award winner, and then they were the Joe Moore Award runner-up. That was 3 seasons in a row. That's what Michigan got good at. They were able to run the ball. They were able to impose their will. And on the opposite side of the ball, they were able to dominate the line of scrimmage. That is why they beat Ohio State, along with Ryan Day being an idiot, is they dominated at the line of scrimmage. They had 2.
And Chip Kelly being an idiot, too.
100%. They were maulers. Like, Mason Graham is one of the best defensive linemen to ever play at the University of Michigan, and you had him for 3 years. So now you're realizing you don't have that offense. You don't have that defensive tackle. So figuring it out, who's next, who's up, getting their feet wet. It's a bad game, but at the end of the day, it's just one. I said they will lose 2. That's right. One of them, and I think they will get better as the season goes on. But if you're going to sit here and have the same conversation about the Lions and having patience in this one game, don't do that for Michigan. Don't do that for Bryce Young. Oh, he's not it. He's not $18 million or $12 million. Sir, pipe down. It takes a second to get these things on the rail. Also, I'm scared of those playmakers. Let's scare those playmakers from the University of Michigan. Like, that's a real thing. The wide receiver position.
Yeah, it is.
Like, that is a real thing.
You would know.
I agree 100% with you there. And, yeah, I would remind people Bryce Underwood is only 18 years old.
18,
so
yeah.
Let's be careful there. That said, John Mateer outplayed him badly. John Mateer, 345 total yards.
Gave him some love, too, which I thought was class.
Yeah, he
His comments
did.
after the game, I thought that was
gave Bryce Underwood
right.
some
Gave
love.
Bryce Underwood.
Yeah.
He had a hell of a game. Though.
Yeah, he did. And
even
knows
be
that
mad at
because
him.
he's been there, done that, right? You experienced that. He was a high-end draft pick. He's a transfer from Alabama. He's 270 yards and a touchdown. And he ran for 74 yards and 2 scores. I thought he was a better runner than passer, quite honestly. But he surprised me at how well he played. He's better than I thought.
He is. I agree with that. He is better. He looked more poised. Like he looked like an erratic 400 yards the week before. This looked like a calm, cool, collected. The other thing for Michigan is the defensive side of the ball. They got to get off the field on third down.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you have to get off the field on third down. They've been good at that. Like they had a couple of plays that turned the tide. Like it's 7-0. It's 2 minutes left in a half. It's 3rd and 7, and they're on their 18-yard line. This is a chance for you to not only stop them, but maybe get the ball back and do something. Not only do you give up the 3rd and 7, but then they go down in 31 seconds and they score a touchdown. They just were out of position and they got outplayed in that moment. Defense, you got to get off the field because you're getting them to 3rd and 7. You're getting them to 3rd. They complete a 3rd and 14 in the second half. You're getting them there. You just got to close the door. So that's what I want to see from the defense against the Chips this week. The Chips this week.
Look at this, Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh, elevated now.
I would say this is going to be a massacre in Ann Arbor. I would also remind people that when you look at the third downs, Oklahoma was 9 for 17 on third down conversion. That's way too effective.
Heck yeah, that's over 50%.
Yeah, on what you're trying to accomplish on the road against a good team. That's more important, all right? Road or home, it's more important about the team you're playing. Good take on Michigan. What about Michigan State? People are trying to get convinced, and perhaps sometimes they're trying to convince themselves that Aiden Childs has turned that proverbial corner, right? The growing pains are over. Take the reins, be the captain, lead the team the way it's supposed to be led. What impressed you most about his performance?
I don't know if the growing pains are over, but I will say, because we'll see. We'll see when they get into the conference. We'll see what that looks like when they start playing in-conference opponents. But that game, that's a huge win. That's a huge win for him, and also, too, not turning the ball over, taking care of the ball. Like, that looked good. It looked better. He looked more poised, like you said. He looked like someone that you trust to lead, and that's what they've been trying to get to. They're trying to get to a point where, like, we trust this guy. We have full faith in him. Aiden Childs looked all right. Like, he looked like he's turned the corner. Has he fully turned it? I don't know. But if I was a Michigan State fan after watching that game, I would be okay. I would be okay.
What I liked about him is I thought he was tough in really tough situations.
Yeah.
Okay, when you need something because your defense is struggling to stop the other guy, and that other guy played really well. Dylan Lonergan, really good game, 390 yards, 4 touchdowns. You have to respond. In other words, I hate to use the word pressure because you and I both agree that it's self-imposed, but when you know you're going to have to score points.
Yeah.
And that almost makes you feel like your offense is a little bit more hectic than perhaps it should be. So I thought he performed pretty damn well in that regard.
I throw his name out here, and it's not because I'm comparing him to him, because he is not him. Yeah. However, it's going along the conversation that you're having. Cam Newton, when he was in Auburn, he knew he was going to have to score points. Yeah. He knew he was going to have to take it upon himself, make plays, make things, do things, whether it was like get in there, take a big hit to get the first down, get out on the pocket, stay in the pocket, deliver a pass to the tight end over here and take that hit. That's what he did, and that's what Aiden Childs has to do. You're the catalyst for this team. Mm-hmm. And Aiden Childs, you're not just the leader of this team. You're the straw that stirs this drink. So you got to make plays, and I think that's very, very accurate.
It helps that they rush for 150 yards, so there's a good balance there for sure, no doubt about it. All right, let's get to some chats because if people decide to chime in on the conversation, they deserve to be heard. Any super chats left out there for Kool-Aid before the mailbag comes out?
Yes. And there are 3 super chats in right now. Dante151 sent in a $9.99 super chat.
Shout out.
He is number 2 right now in our top fans within this chat. And B. Martin, who sent the 20 earlier, is number 1. So they're battling right now.
Toe to toe.
Yeah, Dante says the reason why we didn't see Tulsa yesterday is because Campbell said he wasn't ready because he was dealing with an illness this past week.
Yeah.
But Campbell said he believes that Tesla will get more time this next week.
Yeah, heard all those comments, but
I don't understand that, though.
I don't either, because he did come back for practice.
That makes that catch even that much more impressive.
And that's what I was going to say. If someone is noticeably sick, if someone's really that sick, then you're not going to put them in for the first time at the very end of the game, which means they set and sat and sat and sat, and then you decide to put him in at the 57-minute mark. Like that doesn't happen.
Yeah. It seemed like very odd timing for me. I agree.
Yeah.
Go ahead, more.
Yes, sir. Kenny Powers with the $2 super chat.
Kenny
He
effing
says,
Powers.
That's
a great show, by the way. Eastbound and Down.
You're out. I can't say the full thing, but you're out.
100%.
He does ask this, and I think this is a good one. Maybe a conversation starter. Did week 2 just become a must-win game?
Must, I don't know, but it becomes a hell of a lot more important, I think.
Like, the fact you just don't like saying must because it's week 2. Like
that's correct.
It is back-to-back division.
It's a must because to lose not only to another divisional opponent, to lose to Ben Johnson,
that would sting.
That would sting, and then also to know, like, let's look ahead since we want to play this game. You know who they have to play week 3, and I don't care what you say. There's no way that's a W. There's no way that's a W.
But you can't be scared of it either.
It's not about. It's not. What do you mean, come on, Bray? You watched the same game I did yesterday. And then you watched the same game last night that I watched.
Yeah, come on.
Ain't no way in hell Baltimore's losing to the Lions right now.
He should turn around and say, come on, Kool-Aid.
Exactly.
What are you thinking? I mean, come on. I mean, you got a Lions hat on, that's great. I've got a Lions pullover. Come on.
If the Lions start 0-3, and if the Lions start 0-3 and the offense doesn't look necessarily better, if the defensive rush doesn't look necessarily better, if they look flat like they did yesterday, what does that look like at 0-3?
Yeah, you start looking for wins. When is the first win going to
When's
happen?
Cleveland?
Yeah.
That's what you start to say. Where's the Patriots?
Yeah. And by the way, Cleveland did a pretty good job against that high-potent Cincinnati offense.
Bengals won with
I don't want to read
defense.
too much into the first game and only game, but that was a pretty good defensive performance by the Browns.
Bengals won with defense.
I know.
Which is crazy.
Joe Burrow threw for 113 yards. Jamar Chase had 3 rocks. That's it.
Ooh, how many people drafted him first? I know they were pissed.
Oh, a lot. I would have. He was great for me a year ago. But I think you're right. I don't think it's must win. I'm a big believer. Must win is you got to win to close things out.
Yeah.
You got to win to stay alive for the playoffs. Those are must wins for me. I just think it really heightens the need for it. And to your point about Ben Johnson, you lose to Green Bay is one thing. You lose to Chicago, suddenly you're down 2 in the division, and
now
you've lost to a guy that it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. It stings so much more.
Also, too, now you're pressing. Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. Is the season over? No.
Yeah.
You're 0-2, and you got Baltimore coming. The season isn't over, but now you're pressing. Now you're in this Baltimore game trying to make sure everything is picture perfect, and guess what? It's just not going to be. That's not the way sports works. Pressing is tough.
And then what happens? See, that's the other I shouldn't count it automatically as a loss to Baltimore. I just think Baltimore, from what we saw just last night, is a better team, and we'll see what happens in week 2. But suddenly, you go from 0-2 to 0-3 pretty quickly. Then what happens to you mentally? Like, this team has always been physical on the field, just as strong mentally off it. That will test you, perhaps like you haven't been tested in the last couple of years.
See what happens and why you don't want to go 0-3. Really, why you don't. Let's stay with 2.
Yeah.
The reason why you don't want to go 0-2, regardless of who the head coach is of the Chicago Bears, it's because now you start thinking about the conversations that are happening off the field. Now you start letting it set in. Man, do we miss that guy that's in Chicago? Do we miss this person? Was it, are we equipped in this space to do these things? That little stuff starts seeping in. You start paying attention a little bit more. Because nobody's paying attention on the Lions, what was said before the game yesterday. I guarantee you they're not paying attention right now.
Yeah.
But you lose to the Bears, you'll start to get 1 or 2 or 3 people that are paying attention. You lose to Baltimore, now you got 15, 16, 17, 18 people having questions. Like, that's not what you want. You don't want that doubt to start seeping in their mind.
Well, and here's the other reason. And I hate to bring this up to folks, but these are sometimes you just got to be hit with facts.
Yeah.
Historically, okay,
0-3 can't do it.
If you are 0-3, just 2.5% of the teams that have ever started 0-3 have made the playoffs. 2.5%. You want to know who they are? Okay. 1992 San Diego Chargers.
Give me the year, I get the next one.
Okay. Detroit Lions.
Okay.
1995.
Okay.
1998.
What conference?
AFC.
Raiders.
Buffalo Bills. 2000.
Rob Johnson was the quarterback.
Good one.
Yeah.
2000 USC. 2018.
conference?
AFC.
Jaguars.
Houston Texans. Okay?
Schwab.
And then prior to that, the 82 Bucks and the 81 Jets. Okay? All of them started 0-3. That's still not that many, 2.5%. Okay? So the Jets in 81, a wild card.
Yeah.
Bucks in 82, which, by the way, was a strike-shortened season, I think, right? Only 5-4. They were a wild card. That was the strike-shortened season.
Yeah.
The Chargers, 11-5, won the West.
Stan Humphries.
So they started.
Natron means.
They started 0-3. They came back and won the division. The Lions at 10-6 were a wild card. The Bills at 10-6 were a wild card, and the Texans at 11-5 were AFC South champions.
So we got one Super Bowl contender, or one Super Bowl appearance in there. That San Diego Chargers team, I bet they wish they would stay home from that Super Bowl. 49ers beat the brakes off of them.
That's get the the proverbial monkey off my back. Thank you, Steve Young.
Yeah.
So two division champions. The rest were wild cards. The bottom line is the odds against you are very steep. So just a little information there for you. Kool-Aid, anything else?
Hey, Randall Smalls with the $2 super chat, he believes this is just a typical overreaction Monday.
Yeah, it's
Shout
a
out
manic
Randall
Monday.
Smalls.
Yeah, it's definitely a manic Monday. Not to quote the Bengals, the singing group.
No, 100%. But I'm just, and I love Randall. Shout out to Randall, man. He's always been down. He's always supported. I just want to know where the overreaction is, because we just simply said they played bad yesterday.
Yeah.
And if they play this bad again next Sunday and they lose to the Bears, you're sitting at 0-2 facing the Baltimore Ravens on the road, which we know what happened last time you played there. 38-6 was the score. The Ravens have never lost to an NFC team with Lamar Jackson as quarterback. I repeat, the Ravens have never lost to an NFC team with Lamar Jackson as quarterback. They're 17-0. I'm just throwing that out there. These are the facts. So it's no reaction. It's just not a position that the Detroit Lions want to find themselves in.
Right.
Because if they do, will that be overreacting?
And the other thing, Randall, I would say this. I think we've been pretty fair here. Yeah. I don't think we're jumping to conclusions. I think you're thinking about this too. So obviously you've turned the page and you've moved to Chicago. Not literally, but you're ready to focus on Chicago. There's got to be a part of you that thinks if they lose to Chicago, then what? It's okay to think that way. Everybody. I mean, look, going into the game yesterday, did you not think, well, if they lose to Green Bay, what's it going to look like? Yeah. I mean, that's what fans do. That's just the mindset that oftentimes people have. Not that you think they're going to, but you think that what if they do? That's always that possibility, right?
If they do, this is where the silver lining is. Dan Campbell has been here before. It's been a very long time, but Dan Campbell went 0-6 and figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
He lost some games in that 22-1 season. He went through, so he's had experience of overcoming games, overcoming scenarios, overcoming adversity, whether it was last year in games, the year before that. Yeah, he's a track record there. So we'll see. Yeah, that's the good thing you got going for him. You still don't want to be in that position, but at least you have a coach in the last 5 years that has dealt with some things that has given him some experience.
I think the difference is the expectations this year are a hell of a lot different. They were.
I was trying to be nice.
Than they were.
I was trying to be nice.
You're almost too nice. All right. Anything else there before we get to the mailbag?
I think we're ready for mailbag.
Okay. How about we do that right after a quick word from Caesars? Can we do that? Good.
Yep, Caesar Sportsbook. Football season's upon us. I went 2 for 2 with my bets using Caesar Sportsbook this past weekend.
You didn't share.
I'll let you know next time, Braylon. But scan that QR code on the screen right above my head. Use code Woodward1000, and if your first bet doesn't hit, you get that deposit right back. You could bet up to $1,000 and get that $1,000 right back. Minimum bet is just $20. Download Caesar Sportsbook app today, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Make sure to use code Woodward1000 or scan that QR code.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Back to the desk. Let's rock.
Yeah. But by the way, if you missed any of the Braylon breakdown, that'll be clipped out and sent out on social media.
He crushed.
So much fun to watch.
Yeah.
It really is. It's I love learning new stuff, and I think you're learning an awful lot when you watch the Braylon Edwards show here on Woodward Sports. A lot of people in the chat, we appreciate the buy-in very much. We appreciate the compliments, and we understand that you're trying to stay grounded just like we are. Yeah. We're just trying to be as real as possible. How about the mailbag? By the way, can I just say one thing before we get to the mailbag? Sorry, Kool-Aid. The one team that really should feel fortunate this weekend was the Tigers.
Oh, talk about it.
They got bailed out, losing 2 or 3 to Chicago. Now, Chicago's played good. They've won 7 of 8.
Chicago's beat the Tigers in 2 series.
Yeah. One series was even. They split in a 4-game set. Yeah, 4-game set in Chicago.
That feels like a loss.
And they've already been eliminated, so it's not a big deal. However, I would remind people this. The Tigers are 36 and 36 in their last 72 games. Okay?
Yeah,
the Tigers are still searching for a number 2 starter.
They're limping to the postseason.
The Tigers just lost 2 out of 3 to Chicago. They've lost 9 of their last 14. And granted, they're still in second place in the American League for overall wins. I'm not saying they pressed the panic button, but everybody's focused on Michigan's loss against Oklahoma and the Lions' beatdown loss at Green Bay, giving the Tigers a clear path to sail into New York thinking, well, that's all right. People don't remember what just happened this past weekend, unless you were at the game.
What's the number now, 11? 11 wins?
The magic number?
I think it's 11 wins to the...
as far as I'm concerned, it's over.
Well, no, in terms of win out the division. Oh, yeah, I got you. To win the division.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Kansas City's catching them. They're 8.5 on the good side, you know. So now they go to New York. New York's a plus 141 in run differential.
Yeah.
Okay? This team can score. This is a good offensive team. I'm not saying Detroit can't beat them because that's bullcrap.
Jazz Chisholm is playing right now. He's playing right now.
That whole team. I mean, Ben Rice has had some big home runs. Yeah. Aaron Judge is obviously killing it. Cody Bellinger's doing it on both sides of the ball. It's been impressive. Now, they're not going to be able to pitch Max Fried every single game, just like the Tigers can't pitch Tarek Skubal every game. But it is, I think, kind of interesting about this matchup, and I think a lot of people will be watching. Starting tomorrow, it's a 3-game set in the Bronx tomorrow, Tigers and Yankees. Go ahead with the mailbag, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And first, I got to start off with the love for the Braylon's breakdown. The chat, they absolutely loved it today.
I appreciate that.
And these are just some of the comments, man. Mark Royal was saying, this is exactly what I was saying. Goff missed wide open wide receivers. Smokes guy said top of the screen. You got one guy trying to cover 2. And then you got a lot of people, man. Smokes guy also said this right after. I could watch 2 hours of Braylon doing this. Detroit Rail, I love this segment.
Respect.
Blimpy, this is such a cool segment. And then this is the question we got from Joe Acosta. Braylon, why don't you get into coaching? You would be a great coach.
You know, the more and more I'm starting to hear that question over the past. I appreciate that. More and more I'm starting to hear that question over the past 2 years. I'm starting to pay attention to it a little bit more. And I think I'm actually in a space where I'm comfortable. If something presented itself, you know, if it was right, you know, and if I still had time, I would entertain it. You know, I love the game. Like, I've fallen in love with the game again, and, you know, to give the information that I have. So many people pour information to me, whether it's little league coaches, high school coaches, college, players, you know, analysts, friends have poured the information to me. It's only right if I give that information back. So I'm thinking about it.
You know what? I always think it's awesome when players at a high level give back. Yeah. But I would ask Kool-Aid, stop reading those types of messages.
And last day loading. Now I'm joking.
Hey,
all right. One more before we get out of here on a Monday.
Yeah, we got some people who are concerned with one Mr. Tate Ratledge. So I'm going to read off a bevy of these things. Anthony Marcelli says, Ratledge does not belong at center. They're fooling you with that info. They need any center right now. Cartier, we might not have the center of the future on the roster. So Lions 57 Restore asks this. Bray, can the Lions revamp that O-line moving Ratledge to center?
It's tough. If they're going to do it, they got to do it now.
Yeah, why do they feel like he's the center of the future and then they keep him at guard? I don't understand that.
Is it gas in the Panay situation, left tackle to right tackle? I said it last week. I don't know. But if they're going to make that move, then it needs to be now because he's trying to get comfortable playing right guard. And it's not. Right now, it doesn't look good. Right now, he's out of position. Right now, he's having some MAs, missed assignments, if you will. So if that's the game, then it needs to happen now because he's trying to figure out right guard and it doesn't look good now. So you got to make something happen. But Glasgow at center, it's interesting. It remains to see what that's going to be like. How many positions is Glasgow played?
He can play
three.
Yeah.
Left, center, right. Left, center, right. And he's played all three for the Lions.
Yeah. This is why over a month ago I wanted him to sign Brandon Scherf, if you remember. I wanted him as a guard, and if you're going to put Ratledge at center, then so be it, and use Graham Glasgow as a guy who could back them up. I think it's a good spot. You'd feel good with him in those types of situations. But, you know, and I want to be as fair as I possibly can to a guy like Graham Glasgow, Tate Ratledge, Christian Mahogany, all of them, okay? It is one game. I think Tate Ratledge was high on a lot of people's boards for a reason. I think he's got some nastiness. I think he's going to be a really good player. You do too.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot of positives they took from the tape on Christian Mahogany over the training camp and the game, and they got to get him back to that. So let's hope that happens as quickly as this coming Sunday at home against Chicago. That's going to do it for this Monday edition of the Braylon Edwards Show. Thanks a lot for joining us. I'm glad you like the Braylon's Breakdown because it is the best segment in Detroit sports. And we'll see you tomorrow, 2 to 4 on Woodward Sports.
Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10, 5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Ball looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network.